Someone just won $30 million. Within 5 years, statistically, there's a real chance they'll have less money than before they won. You've probably heard the stories. The mansion sold at a loss. The bankruptcy filing. The relatives who stopped speaking. But here's the strange part. The real answer isn't stupidity, and it isn't bad luck either. Winning a fortune overnight activates almost every psychological trap your brain has for handling money, all at once, with none of the slow experience that normally protects people from them. Let that sit for a second. In 1978, the psychologists Philip Brickman, Dan Coates, and Ronnie Janoff Bowman published a study that became one of the most cited findings in happiness research. They compared lottery winners to a control group and, strangely, to recent accident victims who had become paralyzed. The lottery winners weren't dramatically happier than the control group. In fact, on ordinary daily pleasures, some winners rated lower satisfaction than people who hadn't won anything at all. The researchers called this hedonic adaptation. A sudden windfall doesn't reset your baseline happiness. It just becomes the new normal, faster than anyone expects, while the ordinary joys of life start to feel dull by comparison. That alone explains part of the collapse. But it's only the beginning. There's a second force at work, and it comes from Richard Thaler's research into what he called mental accounting, the same invisible folder system your brain uses for regular paychecks. Except with lottery winnings, the folder isn't just extra. It's impossible, unearned, unreal. Thaler's studies show that money acquired suddenly and without effort gets spent far more recklessly than money earned gradually. It doesn't feel connected to the slow, careful decision-making that governs a normal paycheck. It feels more like found money in a video game, meant to be used, not preserved. Have you ever noticed how differently a birthday gift of cash gets spent compared to a paycheck? Multiply that feeling by 10 million. The third mechanism is social, and it might be the most brutal one. The economist Sendhil Mullainathan, whose work also explains why farmers think worse before harvest, has studied how sudden wealth reshapes a person's entire social network almost overnight. Requests start pouring in. Family members in need. Old friends resurfacing. Investment opportunities from strangers who somehow know the winner's name. Saying no to any of these requests carries enormous social cost, guilt, damaged relationships, accusations of having changed. Saying yes carries a slower, quieter cost that doesn't show up immediately. It shows up years later, in a bank statement gone empty. Winners aren't just fighting their own psychology. They're fighting an entire social ecosystem that reorganizes itself around the appearance of infinite money. Then there's a fourth layer, tied to something the psychologist Daniel Kahneman spent his career mapping: reference points. Your brain doesn't evaluate wealth in absolute terms. It evaluates it relative to whatever number it just got used to. Before the win, a comfortable salary felt like plenty. After the win, that exact same salary would feel like poverty, even though nothing about its actual value changed. The reference point silently resets to the new high, and everything below it now feels like loss, not gain. This is why so many lottery winners describe feeling trapped rather than free. Once your brain recalibrates to millions, ordinary financial stability starts to feel like scarcity. Put these four forces together. Adaptation quietly erases the joy of the windfall within months. Mental accounting treats the money as fake, disposable, meant to be spent. Social pressure drains it steadily through requests too costly to refuse. And a reset reference point turns anything less than the original jackpot into a psychological loss. None of these forces require the winner to be careless or foolish. They would act on almost anyone, because they're built into how the human brain processes sudden, unearned resources. Why would evolution leave humans this vulnerable to something as modern as a lottery jackpot? Because for nearly all of human history, sudden windfalls of this scale simply didn't exist. A hunter might occasionally bring back an unusually large kill, more meat than one family could eat before it spoiled. In that world, the evolutionarily smart move wasn't hoarding. It was sharing it immediately across the group, building social credit that would be repaid later when someone else had the lucky catch. The instinct to distribute a sudden windfall quickly, to relatives, to the community, to whoever asks, was once a survival strategy. It kept the group alive through unpredictable scarcity. That ancient instinct doesn't know the difference between a large kill shared among 12 people and a $30 million jackpot that needs to last a lifetime. It just recognizes unexpected abundance and triggers the same impulse: disperse it, don't hoard it, strengthen the social bonds around you right now. In a small tribe, that impulse built security. In modern life, applied to a single enormous windfall, it can empty a fortune in a matter of years. So what actually protects the winners who don't lose everything? Financial researchers who study this phenomenon point to one pattern more than any other. The winners who fare best don't try to fight their psychology through willpower. They structure the money so their own impulses, and other people's requests, physically cannot access most of it quickly. Annuities instead of lump sums. Trusts with built-in delays. A single trusted advisor positioned between the winner and every incoming request, so no decision happens in the heat of a phone call or a family dinner. It isn't about becoming a different kind of person. It's about building a system that doesn't rely on willpower at all, because willpower was never designed to withstand this particular combination of pressures. Next time you hear about a lottery winner who lost it all, resist the urge to call it foolishness. It's your own brain's oldest instincts, sharing, adapting, comparing, meeting a kind of windfall those instincts were never built to handle. The tragedy was never the money. It was asking ancient wiring to solve a problem millions of years newer than itself.